Aquaman is the 6th film in Warner Bros. DC Extended Universe. It's not out yet, but we can make some guesses as to its potential quality. See previous DC films. Other than Wonder Woman, these films have been kind of a disappointment. Marvel, by contrast, has done great with its movies. Here's how that contradiction could play out with Aquaman. Before we begin, subscribe to CBR and ring that bell to join our notification squad so you never miss a video. Without further ado, here's how Marvel would do Aquaman better.
So dark! You sure you're not from the DC universe?
Tone. DC has a tone problem. In fairness, Hollywood in general has a tone problem for a long time. Good tone is hard to describe because it's so subjective. You know when you see it, but basically good tone means consistency in visual style, acting, and story arc. All those elements work together so you know what the film is. Bad tone is like that kid who comes into school with a new wardrobe every day, with a new set of interests because they don't know how to just be themselves. Marvel is great at tone. Whether it's Thor or Guardians of the Galaxy, the mix of emotional highs and lows, humor and drama is always consistent and serves to drive the plot and make us like the characters. Good tone makes you ignore plot holes by making you see past them. That's probably why there are a lot of YouTube videos dissecting the plot holes of bad films like Batman vs. Superman. When the tone is bad, they stand out. Hopefully DC will fix its tone problem for Aquaman, but if Marvel were in charge, we wouldn't have to worry now, would we?
Wow, that is a good grip. You should not pick a fight with this person.
Characters. No, we don't mean better superheroes. DC superheroes are just as good as Marvel's. Superman and Batman are the most iconic superheroes America and the world have ever known. At the end of the day, vast hordes of non-comic book readers know who those two are. Before the MCU, you can say the name of Marvel, but again, these are the movies. The characters aren't just 2D cutouts that look cool and do cool stuff or just have good written dialogue. In a film, they have to come to life and make you care about them. DC is notoriously bad for that. One of the reasons Batman vs. Superman, Justice League, and Suicide Squad didn't resonate with people is because the films don't make us care about the people in them. A film character has to be a person first and a character second. A combination of editing choices, writing, and directorial methods can make a great actor look flat, hollow, and just whatever on screen. Jason Momoa is a great performer, but this isn't Broadway. He's relying on a whole group of people to make his performances come to life, to make us care about him. Another thing Marvel is better at.
That was the worst pep talk ever.
Humor. A lot of the themes we're covering in this video are related. Marvel draws general audiences in with their humor. To be fair, the Aquaman film looks like it might have some humor in it. The pep talk line sounds funny, but is it? We don't actually know because we don't know the context. There are other instances like this too in the trailer. One example is when the Atlanteans watching Aquaman fight in that arena go from shock to triumphantly cheering Aquaman. Again, it looks like Aquaman is fighting in an arena, but we don't exactly know the context. You can almost imagine DC executives sitting around asking themselves, how can we match Marvel in the funny department? Let's set a quota for the funny moments in this film. That's the problem with DC, isn't it? Marvel knows how to make these decisions more naturally by letting the writer and director make these calls themselves. Thank you, Kevin Feige. Just think about the beginning of Guardians 2 when our heroes have to look after baby Groot while fighting off a giant space monster. DC just doesn't know how to do that.
Never underestimate the power of teamwork, my friend.
Post-production. You ever heard the phrase, we'll fix it in post? Post-production is everything that happens after the director shouts, that's a wrap, and cast and crew celebrate. It includes editing, more editing, CGI, voiceovers to fix sound issues, and more editing. A lot of DC problems start here. And we shouldn't blame this on the producer, that perennial bad guy you see in films about films. Good producers know how to balance creativity with business. DC hasn't had good producers to help guide the directors or writers. The funny thing is that the DCEU has been headed up by Zack Snyder, whose Watchmen adaptation was good. He's a comic book nerd. What could go wrong? Well, Marvel understands that films can't just cater to the tastes of comic book fans. They do a good job at sticking to the comic book stories, but they know that the film is its own medium. Snyder, it seems, forgot that. He set the style and tone for the DCEU with the taste of a fan, not the taste of an artist. It doesn't help that Warner Bros. Has a reactionary approach to post-production anyway. So with Snyder's mistakes in mind, the heavy-handed, soulless suits at the top can justify their instinct to interfere in post-production. Hence all the reshoots on films like Suicide Squad.
The Aquaman. I hear you can talk to fish.
Story. There are only so many kinds of stories you can tell, and Shakespeare got all of them first. One of DC's biggest problems is that it's not always clear of what the story is about. Wonder Woman aside, Marvel is just better at this. Luke Cage isn't about a guy who can smash through walls or stop bullets. It's a story about a man overcoming a system that beat him down, a system governed by the legacy of American racism. Guardians 2 isn't about space heroes fighting a god. It's about an orphan trying to reconnect with his long-lost father. So with that in mind, what is Batman vs. Superman about? Well, it's just about a guy called Batman fighting a guy called Superman. What will Aquaman be about? Will it be about a man stopping people he cares about from harming each other? Or will it be about some dude named Aquaman catching swords with his hands and beating up sharks? With DC in charge, our hopes aren't high. The DCEU needs to stop treating these films as just cool spectacles and start telling stories. That's something Marvel, even at their worst, always gets right. It's the kind of thing that makes the difference between fan fiction and actual fiction. Come on, DC, do it right this time.
Don't count on it, Batman.
Why not?
Because I don't like you coming here, digging into my business, getting into my life.
PR. Remember how Disney decided that Rogue One had to go through extensive reshoots? Reshoots that were out of the hands of Gareth Edwards, the director. Or how about the Solo movie? In that instance, Disney fired its 2 directors and brought in Ron Howard to finish it up. Those should have been PR disasters, but Disney was upfront about them before the info got leaked against their will. There's another strength Disney has over Warner: better PR control. If a bad impression is to be made, better control that bad impression. Contrast that with DC. Not only did they allow rumors to spread about Justice League's problems, they're promoting the as-yet undated Joker film on the same level as Wonder Woman 2, when we know Wonder Woman 2 is an actual movie with an actual release date. We could go into all of Warner Brothers' PR problems, but have you ever seen Marvel let rumors outshine their PR narrative? Nope. Even with the James Gunn stuff going on, Disney said, no, we're putting this movie on hold. There's a bright spot here, though. Aquaman did have reshoots, but director James Wan spun them as exciting pickups. He joined fans in poking fun at Justice League's underwater bubble scene, instead of letting the fans totally steal that narrative. Aquaman represents a reset of DCEU's expectations in the eyes of disappointed fans. DC is finally learning some lesson, it seems. Maybe, we can hope. Hopefully?
The light shone on the heroes, coming out of the shadows to tell us we won't be alone again.
Better at saving people. In the old days, before Aquaman, before Batman, there was just Superman. In the earliest comics, he rarely fought giant monsters or supervillains. Instead, he fought gangsters, slumlords. You see, Superman was first invented in the Great Depression, when the average Joe or Jane felt like they were the victims of powerful forces beyond their control. Big industry titans and greedy slumlords were pushing them around, and people wanted to see a hero stand up for the little guy. Later on, the villains got bigger and weirder, but at least he saved the world from these bad guys, and so did his friends like Batman, Wonder Woman, and eventually Aquaman. Fast forward to the DCEU. How do our heroes take out the trash? By taking half an entire city with them. We saw that in Man of Steel. Marvel characters actually seem to care when the innocent lives they want to protect are lost. That's what we need from Aquaman. A sense that all those millions of people who will totally get killed by shark-riding weirdos matter to him. Hopefully DC will finally learn this lesson. Maybe Aquaman won't be able to save a ton of regular people and he'll feel for it. Feelings, DC. Feelings.
Are you paying attention?
To the fact you finally learned English? How could I not? It's wonderful!
There you have it. Do you think Marvel/Disney would handle Aquaman better? If not, why? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching.